Say hi.
Hey, everybody.
Take us in.
With what?
Give the greetings.
Good to see everybody. I can't read anything because I don't have my glasses on.
Hey guys, welcome to our live. It's Tuesday night. It's time for our live stream and chat. And this week, we're going to talk about the Ozark Homestead Expo and what we did this weekend. And then some other stuff too. First, let's see who all's in here. Spags was first, and Chuck was second, and then Rose, Eagle Lover, Texas, Tambra. We got the Texas contingent here. Jonathan's here, Gregory Kissel, the Rickster from Utah.
Hi.
How's everybody doing, guys? Hope everybody had a good week.
That's been a hot one.
It finally broke. Yesterday.
Sunday. It was cooler when we got home.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's a balmy 89, 90 degrees right now, which is.
Is it that hot?
It was this afternoon.
It doesn't feel
That's
like
25 degrees cooler than it has been.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
So why don't you tell them what we did this weekend?
So we went to the Ozark. Is it Ozark or Ozarky?
Ozark Homestead Expo.
Yeah, and so we did that, and they were scheduled. They had actually sold 4,000 tickets to it, but it was so dang hot. I think some people didn't come. But for the most part, it was good. Hey.
It's Wes from Paola.
Paola, Kansas.
You remember him?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yep. And so Wes, we saw him there at the festival. And so it was good. It was different than any other festival. And so different in the fact that, he asked me on the first day, and we were just setting up. And he said, "Did you notice anything different? What are your feelings about the expo?" And I said, "I don't really know. It's the first day, And he said, "No." He goes, "Go ahead." And he said, "What did you get out of it?" And one of the things I saw is, especially with vendors and stuff, it was really important to make those connections. And so everybody was trying to network. They wanted to meet each other. They, talk to each other. And I don't know in that volume, in that kind of setting, that we've ever noticed that before. So that was different and nice.
There were a lot more vendors than anything we've ever been to.
A ton more vendors. And oh my gosh, there had to have been well over 100 vendors. And so that was kind of cool.
Oh, great reason.
And everybody was trying to figure out how to work with each other and how we could network and help each other out.
Gregory's going to die because he's got the coof.
Oh, no.
Well, he said other than dying from the coof, it's been a good week.
Can you find you some sheep drench? We won't say the I word.
I'm going to do a video about using sheep drench for the sheep. So we're going to do a video about that.
Yeah, and the dosage is the same. Just look at your weight and that kind of thing. And then zinc and vitamin D and selenium. That'll kick it just like that.
I know that whole less than a 1.2% chance of dying with complications is that's a game changer. So, Skane's girl's here. Did you know they had wildfires in Louisiana this week?
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
And they actually had some people die. Is that close to where you are, Skanes?
That's sad.
Tiger's here. Oh, Terminator's here. Hope it's cooling down for you guys. It's been low 40s here. Oh my goodness, must be nice.
Hey, Skanes, do we know what caused the fires yet?
Yeah, and Terminator, are you getting hit by by all the smoke up there? We've got haze all the way down here. Because of that, the sunset's going to be a beautiful red tonight because of it. Yeah. And that barking you hear in the background is Freya. She is on lead because our dogs have gotten extremely dysfunctional over the last week and a half, and we're having to retrain and readjust their attitudes or their behavior.
Their lifestyles are gonna change.
No, she says no. It's to the southwest.
Well, that's good. At least you won't be.
And Tiger says it's going to be in the 50s tonight. Mm-hmm. Tiger's out on the east side of Missouri.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I think the low today is 61, so it won't be too bad.
I had to put sweatpants on Monday morning. No, it was Sunday morning. I had to put it on, but it's a big change. When we were setting up the tent, it was 113 degrees.
Ooh, we thought we were gonna die.
Yep.
And silly me wore jeans.
And that wasn't the highest temperature for the weekend either.
No, it was
So
actually hotter the next. Was it hotter? Yeah, it was
It
hotter
was
Friday.
115. It was 115 on Friday. So why don't you tell
And
them?
that didn't include heat index, right?
Right. Why don't you share what you got? Tell them more about it.
Oh yeah. So I met some really, really neat people. Brandy, man, she's a rock star. And she has several different businesses. Hang on, I've got her business cards. I'll actually be doing a podcast with her at some point. Her and her husband, they have a ranch. And so she's got Big Boss Mare with Brandy Von Holten. And this gal, she's into archery and teaches women's archery. So that was pretty cool. And then
And she was the one walking around with the bow and arrow all week.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then and she's got a podcast, so we're going to be doing that. So it's a motivational podcast, and you guys need to check it out. www.bigbossmare.com, motivational podcast. And she's
What is it?
She's a cool cat. www.bigbossmare.com. MARE.com. Yeah, she's a rock star. I really enjoyed her. And her husband does building with David and large construction skills learned through small projects. And they work a lot with homeschoolers, and they've got a mill and all kinds of stuff. And so they're teaching life skills to a lot of different people. So that was really cool. At-home building kits with instructional videos and enrichment activities, custom-made furniture. You can find him at David at buildingwithdavid.com or www.buildingwithdavid.com. And then, do you want me to slow down?
I'm not gonna type all these in there.
No, you're fine. They've got so much going on, and you could reach them at any one of these and find out exactly what they have. Now, here's some really great things that they do. They've got campground and equine trail riding facilities at Von Holten Ranch. And this is really neat. They actually had a veteran that came in. They also do wedding and event venue, but they also do women's retreats. And she was telling me, we were talking about a gal that ended up pulling on an RV, and she's living there and working. She came to one of the retreats and enjoyed it so much that I think it was like 6 weeks or 6 months later, she ended up moving on and helping out. And so I thought that was really cool. And then horsemanship with brandy.com, online horsemanship courses. So yeah, she's an amazing cat. Somebody who could do that many businesses and, run them all and figure it out. That's pretty amazing. I don't even know how she had time to come to the event.
So Skane said she hadn't watched the news since they got back. I sat down Sunday morning and got caught up with the news, and I really wish I had. Because it's enough. There are people out there in the news media and even bloggers and people talking, making comments on YouTube videos. Man, there's some negative people out there. I'm serious.
Yeah. It hasn't been lovely.
Oh, and then Rickster's at a Pantera concert. So he doesn't know how long he's going to be on.
That's funny. Well, thanks for having us on while you're at the Pantera concert. This was another one, Informed Health Choice, Missouri, educating and empowering. These people rocked. Did you have a chance to really sit and talk?
I listened to you guys talk.
And so Jennifer and Michelle, and we were talking, guess what they did? They actually have figured out a way around and did it and have accomplished it and have hospitals agreeing to it. They figured out the pure blood bank.
Oh, did they?
They did. And so I've got to make sure that I get that information and their information.
And you're supposed to go on and talk to her too, aren't you?
We both are. I think they want us to come in on a Zoom.
Oh,
they are.
That's right. We're going to talk to them on the Zoom.
Right. So they do once a month. They do Prepper Community.
Terminator did.
I've been using pressure canner all week. I've done almost 200 jars of veggies. Good for you. And so we're going to talk to them about building community, why it's important, that kind of thing. And so that's going to be interesting. So we'll figure out when we do that. Check them out. I'm not sure that they have an online presence. I think they're They're in the St. Charles, Missouri area, and I think that this is just something that they're trying to grow and get done. Yeah, but there was a lot. Those were really the two that stuck out to me. All of this other stuff is you. But through Brandy, we actually have possibly some new community members coming in, and they've got another week. They haven't texted me yet, but they're supposed to. When they get some time, they're going to come up into this area. Hopefully, we'll have a community dinner, welcome them in. They'll get a chance to meet all of us. We'll get a chance to sit down and really talk to them, show them the area, and show them some of the properties that are available. They're really neat people. They were awesome. Looking for community and super excited about that. This one you know about. I don't know.
Well, I met a guy. I don't have my glasses on. The right WRIT workshop.llc. This guy had antique tool handles, and I'm supposed to contact him about getting handles for my 2-person saw. She bought one years ago. I love those big 2-handed crosscut saws, and it's missing a handle. Actually, one's missing both handles. The other one's missing one. And I was talking with this guy, and he can get me original antique handles at a really good price.
Super cool.
So I've got to get with him. I didn't do those three. I don't know where this came from.
You did. So these were the kids that came in, and he actually does excavating and a lot of stuff on land services, and he actually comes up to this area. And so anybody that's looking for him, he's willing to work. And he goes down to, because I was like, are you sure you're willing to go all the way up there? And he was like, oh, I'm up in the area anyway. And he told me where he goes to visit a friend, and sure enough, right around the corner. So they do land clearing, food plot services, building pads, scouting, building blinds, putting up tree stands, yard renovation. I mean, just anything and everything you can think of. And they were neat people too.
HG says somebody on a Van Life Facebook group is asking others about what food they keep on hand that's stored out for refrigeration. So he pointed out, well, thank you very much, HG.
Thank you.
We will let you know if they contact us.
Yeah.
So, and the other, I met a professor from a university, and he is not your typical academia. He had cowboy boots on and a cowboy hat and was open carrying a 1911. So if that gives you an idea, he's a history professor.
And you two are going to do a live, right?
Yeah, at some point. I told him it's probably going to be after we get through the festival season, but I'm real excited. We talked for a good 30, 45 minutes, and he's got some really good stuff that I think is important and fits in really nicely with our channel here. And then the last thing and then I met Travis, and they have a nursery in Blue Springs, Missouri, and I cannot remember his last name or the name of the company, but they do prairie restoration and reforestry stuff. And I sat down and talked to him for a while. They're going to have a workshop September.
I could not find that. Save the date.
September 23rd and 24th is when it is. But it's going to be in Blue Springs. They've got a campus there, and they do these things. But I was talking to him, and we're going to see if we can't do a live or do something together, because I want to pick his brains about prairie restoration, because that's one of the things. The native grasses here in our area have been totally destroyed, and I'd love to at least get part of our property back with the natural grasses. Sunday, I happened to be doing something and was out in an area where there were natural prairie grasses, and I was flabbergasted by the way it looked. It was awesome.
Hey, Faith K.
Faith K's here. I saw Faith earlier today. She was on Nicole and John's live with Spags. If you guys didn't get a chance to see that, go back and watch that on Life Done Free in Tennessee. It was actually a pretty good live. They talked about some really good stuff.
That was today? Yesterday.
That was today. Today at 12:30. Terminator says, my duck is laying again. I built her a better nesting box, and she's doing a lot better. Hopefully new babies by then. All right. That's awesome. And then getting back to the
And you have the information how to get a hold of him, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a review of this thing. I'm
Okay.
gonna do a complete breakdown of it. But I ran into a brother Marine, and we sat and talked. We hit it off. It's Bruce Winston is his name. They're out of northern Arkansas. But he makes these fire starting kits. They come in a little bag. They got a rubber band on it, and this is probably one of the best fire starting kits I've ever seen. And he's got stuff in here that I don't think I've ever seen in any other fire starting kit. So I'm going to do a review of this, and just so I can get his information out there. And
they run $45,
these are
right?
$45. I can't remember exactly how much. But if we're going to talk about it, and if we decide, I think we may try to take some of these to, if not Self-Reliance Festival and Midwest Preparedness.
Probably, maybe both we need to.
But I seriously, if you're not, probably doesn't mean much to you, but as a prepper and somebody who appreciates stuff like this is probably one of the best fire starting kits I've ever seen. And he and I were talking, and he said, there's nothing in here friction. There's nothing in here friction. Making a friction fire is probably one of the hardest things to do. And after you've learned the skill to do it, you really appreciate things like Bic lighters and flint and steel and char cloth and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a review on this, and we'll see how it goes. See if we can't drum you up some business.
And he said he makes all of that except for the lighter that's in there, right?
Yeah, he does everything.
Yeah.
So yes, Faith. Gosh, if you can remember his name, if you can remember that guy's name, he's the one that got me turned on to the whole pasture restoration. This guy does shorts, and he's down in Alabama, like Faith says, but he does a great job of breaking it down and making it simple to understand. Yeah. So what we got? It was nice seeing Grumpy cleaned up tag. The cleaned up tag is terrifying. Tag jumped onto the live for a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah.
And he was in his business attire.
Oh.
Spags was right though. About 5 minutes after he leaves work, it's like his beard grows and his hair goes all scruffy. It's really bizarre. Rickster, he does not have a web page. I take that back. He's got a web page, but I don't have it on me.
Well, we could have it by your review, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
All that stuff's gonna be in the review. Okay, Faith is gonna look the guy's name up. Shoot, she's not a moderator, so we can't. Just
can you add her as a mod real quick?
Yeah, I can try. You get mad at me.
No, I'm asking you to do it. Hey, bear with us, guys, real quick, and we'll add Faith K as a mod, and then that way she can just go ahead and. And then, so one of the other things is really funny because a lot of the people that we were talking about, one of them, and she was a real cool cat too, Janet Creedy, and I don't know. Hang on a second. Let me put my glasses on. And so, Criddle, and they're in Zalma, Missouri, and Whispering Pines Farm, and she does freeze-dried candy. And so her and I got to talking, and it was really interesting. We were going back and forth about the different cottage laws, the way that Missouri works and Kansas works. And by the end of our conversation, we both decided that nobody has a clue. None of the states are working together. They're just making up their own rules. So that was really interesting. But if you guys are in the Missouri area, definitely look her up and get some of her freeze-dried candy.
Sophia. Skane says I never had my thighs rubbed together. Yes, I have. When I was training for my long hikes, this is the reason why I bought chafing shorts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Native Habitat Project. This guy's go out and check this guy's videos. Does a really good job. And it's entertaining. Yeah. See, Tamara knows about chafing. I think we all do, especially after this summer. I've lost all this weight, and even with the heat this summer, like right back here would start rubbing and getting a little rock just because of the sweat and everything.
Yeah, tighter shirts.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Tighter shirts, tighter shorts. I don't know.
So you were talking about the freeze drying.
Yeah. No, that was good. It was just very interesting. There's different rules for every state. Like Missouri they can make all the jams they want. They can sell bread, all that stuff. Don't have to have a commercial kitchen. They can just do whatever they want. And then in Kansas, we can't do that. And so, anything that's cut, sliced, that kind of thing. But then, the freeze drying is just kind of wide open.
Because all these laws were made before freeze drying became a thing,
right?
And so I'm
but
sure
Missouri
at some point
is
Kansas,
like really cracking down.
I'm sure at some point Kansas is gonna crack down.
I don't know because they're really pushing the cottage and really helping people get into it. So
listen, if they can figure out a way to make money off it, they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
and that's all it is.
Well, let's not put that into fruition. Let's just say it's not going to happen, and then that way it doesn't. And we
except
don't create
marijuana.
The problem.
Except marijuana, they won't legalize marijuana. Not that I'm advocating the use of it. I'm just saying that it's a strange state we live in, which is why I miss Missouri a lot, even though we're bashing it because of its cottage food laws right now.
Yeah. Do you realize that where we had the freeze dryer and all of that, we were set up that could have been a commercial kitchen, and we could have done all the freeze dried food out of there we wanted.
Nuh-uh.
Yep. That's how her kitchen is. It's down in their basement. Same way we have it, just separate from the main kitchen. Kid you not. Yep.
Thanks. One more reason why I dislike moving to Kansas.
Well, so no, Kansas the same way. As soon as my processing kitchen's done, then it'll be fine. It's a commercial kitchen.
One of the advantages of wearing a heavyweight kilt in summer, at least you have some protection when getting in a car in summer with black vinyl seats. Yeah, I had
not a tractor.
I've got a tactic kilt that I wear, and I've jumped on the Kubota seat after it's been sitting out in the field all day long, and boy, that'll wake you up. My God, and they'll make you start speaking in tongues because it hurts so much.
Right.
And it was the hotel this time was okay. We figured out since Missouri passed the cannabis laws.
There's no hotel anywhere that doesn't have a dispensary next door.
Yeah, apparently there's dispensaries next to every single hotel or health like little area where hotels are in the state of Missouri.
And so, what stinks about that is that because they're trying to protect their security, right? So because of that, they've got like these football field lights up everywhere. Well, our hotel room.
This was the weirdest thing. So
blackout curtains were set up the wrong way.
No, it was set up exactly like they want it to be, but the rods for the dark curtain were only about that long on each side, so you had like a 4-foot gap between them.
Yeah,
and
craziness.
Yeah, it was really weird.
And so you could see all the people from the hotel, and there was like 2 or 3 hotels next door too. So there was just a cluster of hotels, and so you could see everybody walking over. I don't even know what time that place closed. It was still open when we went to bed. And so I think they were just closed in the morning.
And since we're talking about this, a little bit of social commentary. So one thing I noticed, I spent a lot of time in and around Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
And, there's always been homeless down there in southern Missouri, because it's right there on I-44 and it's not too terribly bad in the wintertime. The amount of homeless people in Springfield, Missouri this time around was crazy, and I couldn't sleep, so I got up and went and filled the truck up at like 3 a.m, and they were dumpster diving behind the restaurant that was next door, and they were out riding their bikes, and it's really kind of sad.
Yeah,
and
what
then
was interesting, they were doing that, and then as everybody starts pulling into the hotels, they were sitting on the corners with their signs asking for money.
But that's just a sign. And then there were a lot. Springfield's never been like and how do I put this?
It was college town.
Well, it's a college town, and there were always businesses that were closed, right?
Yeah, but not like this.
Not like it was this time. There were a lot of businesses that were closed. And then at the festival, there was a guy that does Prairie Fire Tacticals, the name of his company, Bobby. They live down in Florida, and he makes some of the best flint and steel or ferro rod kits I've ever seen. these kits are awesome. And in fact, there's another one we need to talk about at some point. I did not buy one because I'd already got this kit, but he made some. Anyway, he was talking, and he had been to the festival multiple times, and he made a comment while we were setting up on Thursday. He said, "I will tell you on Saturday afternoon the state of the economy by how this festival is." And
boy, and he's nailed it.
Yeah, he did. By the time we were done Saturday afternoon, he said we are in for a world of hurt.
Yeah.
Because they said they sold 4,000 tickets. If there were 3,000 people that showed up, and admittedly,
there were a lot of people.
Admittedly, most of that was the heat, but I guarantee you, some of them just decided not to make the trip. You know, it was really kind of sad.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yes, it was, and a lot of people having to pick and choose, but it was very interesting. The sun
She just made a good point. We should have been not selling freeze-dried candy at the hotel.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a part of that.
Okay, so we're talking about the marijuana. There's a lot of Colorado that goes by our place now after they went green. Yeah. Well, and they're talking, the tribe I work for sent a discovery group up to Seattle area to talk to some of the Indian tribes up there about how they're running dispensaries on their land. And you got to understand I work for the tribal government, and we are literally a separate country, and it's kind of a weird relationship, but they go by their own rules. You know, the only thing, they've got a gaming compact with the state of Kansas.
Contract?
What?
Contract or compact?
Compact. They got a gaming compact with the state of Kansas, and then they have to abide by certain federal laws because of the money they get. But other than that, they can kind of make their own rules. Oh, look at that. We got Porterhouse and Tilson House. How you guys doing?
What's the difference?
Starla showed up. Starla, we missed you. I'm sorry.
What's the difference? But I don't understand. What's the difference between a compact and a contract?
The compact is an agreement that the state and the nation go into. It's a contract. It's just named different. There's different legalities.
Okay.
There's different legalities involved.
All right.
You know, so, but yeah. And it's the game. It's with the gaming. It's with the Kansas Gaming Commission.
Yeah. You know what I thought was interesting about this festival too, because other festivals haven't really been like this. It was kind of opposite. So there was a lot of prepper stuff, like the sun oven. Everybody was interested in that. The harvest rate, that kind of thing. So we're interested to see where numbers go with that. But a lot of the other stuff that I saw going was like homemade stuff, and it was like the crafts and things. And there was some really neat stuff there. And everybody they were loading their carts with this kind of stuff. So that was interesting and really cool, actually.
Well, and I was talking with some people before we left for this, and we were talking about the Mother Earth News Fair. And I don't know if you've been to any recently, because we started going, 9-10 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
And then we quit going 4 or 5 years ago because
not really commercial.
It became a trade show.
Yeah.
It really did. And the demonstrations were okay, but they were all, aside from the butchering classes, they were all geared at selling somebody something. You know what I mean? And we got there, and I'm not going to lie, when we pulled up and I saw the vendors, it really concerned me because I was like, is this going to be a trade fair? But it wasn't cool. The same vibe. Number one, the classes were way better. Way better than the Mother Earth News Fair. And it was Joe Salatin spoke there, so it's not like it was different types of speakers.
Living Traditions spoke there.
Living Traditions was there.
And what was so cool, it was even, so some people came over to our tent and they were like, you're the freeze-dried food. So apparently Sarah and Kevin were actually sending people over to check out our tent, our booth. So that was super exciting. And a lot of people who already had freeze dryers they were buying our food because, again, they were stuck in that paralyzation by fear. And so they were trying our food just so that they could kind of get an idea of what it was going to do and, all of that, how to reconstitute it and that kind of thing. So I walked them through all that. Way cool. So I super appreciate that. I know living traditions, we may not see this, but I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Kevin and Sarah.
Yeah, WA. Everybody said that the pig slaughtering class was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. You know,
Yeah.
so that I did get to meet Joel. I got to shake Joel Salatin's hand. I saw him
Joel's
walk.
really neat.
I got to see. He was walking by our tent, and I
Mhm.
jumped out into the way, and I was like, I got to shake your hand, and I just let him know he changed our lives, because he really did.
And what he's doing is so very important.
Yeah.
And there was somebody else that you had to run over and say that is very important, because you were like, "Is that B. Clyde? That
Oh.
looks like B. Clyde." And I said, "Yes, that's B. Clyde."
So if
And
you guys don't have a Clyde's garden planner, go buy one. It's an excellent way to set your planning schedule by. It's, it varies by season and where you are, but the dates and the timing on the card, and it's just a little slide card. It's got the sleeve
easy to
that you
use.
slide in and out, and you can tell when your planning dates are and everything. It's a great thing to use, and in fact, I bought 6 of them and
Get a lot out as gifts.
kept 2 and gave 4 of them away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're inexpensive. They're not very
But Joel,
expensive.
like I was saying, Joel Salatin changed our lives, because I read Folks of St. Normal in 2000. When did we move to Pleasant Hill? 2003?
Four, I think. 2004. Is that summer? Yeah, July 16th,
Hey, get out of there.
2004. Hey, stop eating the apples.
The apples are still in the.
Beta's gonna get mad.
Yes, Faith. Yes, that he is alive and kicking, and he's a really neat guy.
Yeah.
He's a really neat guy. So I got to shake his hand too.
She didn't realize he was a person.
Or alive.
Or alive. He is very much alive and a person. And
so HG says, if you want to meet Joel, going to a rogue food conference is better. Smaller crowd, more likely to be able to chat. He's an amazing guy, because he did spend a lot of time walking around talking.
He did. He really did. His free time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Terry and I spoke quite a bit. And he's a really neat guy too. I was glad that I actually got to sit down. I've seen him at certain festivals, the elderberry.
Oh yeah.
And but we got to talking, and they actually have 10 freeze dryers. Did you know that?
That's what you're saying.
And and so we got to talking. It's always fun to talk freeze dryers and that kind of thing. And some of the stuff he's doing has inspired me. And I may need to get a freeze dryer dedicated to just herbs and berries and medicine and that kind of thing. And
well, they were talking, and I guess freeze-dried elderberry is the best form of elderberry for them to use for medical research.
Right.
And so they're getting like premium, top dollar, more than what you and I would pay for elderberry to get freeze-dried elderberry.
Yeah, so that's super exciting. I mean, that's huge, because that means that small businesses and homesteaders everywhere are making money finally.
Yep.
So this is good.
C. Skeens agrees.
Yeah, super easy to use.
And WS says he's able to get a personally signed book by Joel.
Yeah.
And he's a really down to earth guy. And at least my limited interaction with him has been.
Yeah.
And HG's giving away too. See, they make great gifts, guys, and
they really do.
They're inexpensive. I don't know what they cost now. I think when we bought them, they were only like
$5 or something.
I don't even think they were that much when we bought them.
You don't think so? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think you bought them, so I'm not sure.
No, I did buy them.
Yeah.
But I think they're only like $3.50, $4. I'm sure they've gone up. Everything else has gone up. I'm sure they've gone up too. But and okay, I'm gonna say this: the going to these festivals and meeting these people is great. I love, and we got to see people that watch our channels. Again, I'm always blown away when somebody walks up and goes, "Hey, you're grumpy. I watch you."
Yeah.
And it's number one, it's so flattering to me. Number two, it just blows my mind that people find us interesting.
All you guys that so it was funny.
And then
every time I went to the bathroom, somebody was giving me a hug and saying hello, and I just like, hey.
Then we met Wes on Saturday, and so we got new subscribers and new friends.
Yeah.
New online.
So glad you guys joined us. Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah.
I do not like going on these trips. Seriously, I don't like being away from home. I'm getting to that point where I'm ready to go home by the second day of the festival.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of a longer one because we set up the day before. But yeah, so the other thing that happened, and I guess I'm gonna just get off the,
Well, hang on.
what is that, pooper get off the pot? I guess I'm gonna get off the pot, and I'm gonna call Sarah Lena, and I am going to see her, what her ghostwriter fees are. She actually offered to ghostwrite for me last year. Way too many people this time, you know, in a venue of 200, 300 people ask you, and you're just kind of like, man, that's a lot of work to only sell 10, 15 books. In a venue where you have 4,000 people and almost every single one is coming up and asking you, do you have a cookbook? Like literally back to back, wanting to know where my cookbook was for the freeze dryer. And I said, I don't have one.
So off topic, do they freeze the juice or the whole? They freeze the whole elderberry.
thing. Yes.
Because when they reconstitute, they can do what they
right.
need. But it's the easiest way for them to get the most least amount of loss of the nutritional value.
It's more accurate. It's like the real thing. So then fresh.
Wes says Grumpy wants to turn into a hermit.
He does.
I enjoy.
He would be a happy hermit.
Look, I really enjoy meeting everybody. And I've gotten, since we started doing this, I've got to see so many cool things. But I do. I enjoy being on my property. I enjoy working with the animals. And we come home and things, they're not done wrong. They're just not done
the way you would do that.
They're just not, everything's just slightly dysfunctional. It takes a while to get everything unscrewed and we get back. And it's not saying anything bad about any house sitters that we've ever had.
And these house sitters are great.
And it's the same with vacations. I'm the same way on vacations.
He is. Like our vacations are way too long.
Yes.
So right. But so what was I gonna say? There was oh man.
You said you were gonna write a book.
Next door. So the tent next to us, it was really funny. They were Amish and they were doing solar systems, like totally off-grid solar systems. And then they were also EMP Shield affiliates.
So, yeah.
And so it was really funny because as we got to talking to people and they were talking about their solar and what to set up and what they have, I'm like, well, have you thought about an EMP Shield? And then it finally hit me. I'm like, well, they're doing it next door. And so I was like, why don't you go next door and get their coupon link instead of asking me for ours? Go get their coupon link and then order from them. And so hopefully Daryl got a lot of sales from that, and that works great.
Hillside.
Huh?
Oh, he's asking if I'm a hillside or under the bridge. Troll.
Oh.
I am a hillside hermit.
And so that was really neat, and they were neat people. And so I think
their kids showed up Saturday morning.
So cute.
He had little twin boys, and they couldn't have been more than 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
But they had the Amish dress on, and they had the little straw hats.
And they were carrying the big bags of charcoal, the yard charcoal. And so they had this, and those bags were bigger than the kids, and the kids were just hauling back and forth.
So I walked over to Elam, and I was like, dude, keep your kids away from my wife. Seriously.
No,
so Jonathan wants to know if you've ever grown astragalus. I don't think we have.
No, I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar. It doesn't mean it's not out here. I just don't know.
Okay, this is probably a question for somebody else, but Lucy wants to know, do you think elderberries would grow here in Ontario? Well, they do over winter.
Didn't we already have this conversation? Because I think Daniel, so I think your growing season is too short. So you could do it in a greenhouse. You would just have to keep the tree cut back. I do remember this correctly. You just have to keep the tree cut back, but you need a longer growing season for elderberries.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because we looked that up.
That's right, because we had that conversation with Daniel.
Anything north of the North Carolinas or the Carolinas, right? So you need a longer growing season. But it is great medicine, and you can order it. So when Terry and I were talking, he gets, it's a concentrate, and it's expensive, but he said a little bit goes a long way. I just didn't get the information on where to get it from. I'm sure I'm going to see him again over the next festival season. If not, I will definitely see him again next year, and I will find out that information and find out where he's getting that from. I just don't remember. There was so much stuff going on. And when you have thousands of people in front of you, it's very difficult to remember everybody and everything. So, and I even find that even with the people that are in front of us. And so they're asking questions and they've been swarmed with so much information, it's hard for them to hold on to anything. And guys, that's why we give out our email address and that's why we give out, my cell phone number so that you guys can ask us questions because it is difficult to retain all that information. So there's that.
And the freeze dryers in the sun ovens, because we're affiliates, so naturally we're trying to get people to purchase them. But as far as the freeze dryers go, even though we're selling the freeze dried food, I think everybody should own a freeze dryer.
Oh yeah,
anybody that can afford it.
Yeah.
In the long run, aside from having your food growing on your property, it's the most cost effective way for long-term food storage.
Right.
Seriously, and it will pay for itself if you're a prepper and you're looking at buying 30 years worth of freeze dried food from one of the big commercial companies or making it yourself. You're much better. You're much better doing it yourself with the freeze dryer. But the sun oven's the other thing. So
the Amish were fascinated.
I'll get there. I was going to go there too. All weekend long, we had people coming up to us going, "I've got one of these, but I don't use it." Talking about freeze dryers and sun ovens, and I
hear a lot of, "I don't have time."
Well, and my response just got to be like, "Look, you got to start using it. It's not that you don't have time. You just haven't made time to."
And guys, the sun oven is so easy. If you want to slow cook, you just throw all your ingredients in the morning, and then just find a general location where it's going to have sun all day. You don't have to go turn it every 30, 45 minutes. You just kind of, in general, leave it where it's going to get a lot of sun. So basically facing south, right? And then put that in there and you're slow cooking. It's just like using a crock pot. You're just not heating up your kitchen. And so, go ahead and do that. And the thing is, we wanted to see it was raining and overcast and all of that on Saturday. And so we're like, wonder if this is going to work. Let's see what temperature we can get it up to. We got up to 150.
Got up to 150 while it was overcast.
Started to come out a little bit, like kind of where it's still, the sun kind of comes through the clouds, and it got up to what, 250?
No, it was up to 300.
Did it go up to 300? Mm-hmm. When I opened it, I lost that heat. So it went down to 250. And I did cinnamon rolls. Mm-hmm. And it took longer, but it worked. And so in overcast, we were able to cook. So I would have definitely done. Now I wish I would have put dinner on because, and just done that first thing in the morning, because then I would have, it would have been a slow cook. It would have been fine. Right. But hindsight 2020.
And she mentioned the Amish. I couldn't figure out why they were doing it on Friday and Saturday instead of Saturday and Sunday.
Figured it out
until we got there and we started setting up. There were a ton of Amish vendors there, and then during the festival there were a lot of Amish people walking around. And there's one group of Amish down there that moved out in 2015 from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
65 families.
Yeah, 65 families. And I don't know if you've ever been to the Amish community in Lancaster. The best pies, seriously.
Ever.
They're the crust on those pies reminded me of my mom's. We used to drive up
sausage.
We used to drive up there from Washington D.C. on the weekends when the weather was nice and go to the Dutch markets there. Yeah.
Meat pies.
But there's another group that's like way more traditional than even they were, and in fact they were talking German while they were there. And they saw the sun oven and they were just fascinated by it. I guess because they'd never seen it.
Everybody,
and they brought one of the elders over and we were talking to them. And, unfortunately, they don't use modern conveniences.
Well, not unfortunately, good for them.
Well, no, I mean, they were really interested in buying it. So we were trying to figure out a way to get one to them if they wanted it. And we came up with a solution.
Trips in a different time zone and all of that. Well, so I was just texting back and forth, waiting for him. I knew I wouldn't get the answer until night, but we have the solution. We figured it out.
But they never came back. So, but the next time this happens, and we're with some Amish people, we know what to do.
The guy that was with Daryl, he's going to relay the information. Yes.
Okay, Rickster.
So they can actually call out. So they'll be able to call us. We'll be able to order everything and drop ship it to them.
Terminator, there's your answer. Look into that. European black. from strictly medical seeds. I guess there is a strain that will grow in further north.
Okay.
So
Nice.
we'll see how that goes.
Thank you.
See, Gregory says they grow up in central Nebraska. I'm not sure about further north.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah. And I was surprised. I had never thought about the sun oven and the Amish. So now I have an idea of what we need to do with those. And I have an in. So I think I'll be calling Martha.
Well, and we started talking after seeing Tripp at selling the sun ovens at Doug and Stacy's thing. And he had 19 sun ovens and he sold all of them over the course of 2 days.
So we will be pre-ordering sun ovens.
Well, we're gonna eventually, probably not anytime soon, but eventually that's the plan.
We can do at least a couple, maybe not 19, but we can do a couple. So we'll just start there and then see where it goes.
You know, and if you got, we're pimping the sun ovens. You can use our link to get the discount. If you don't want to do that, find somebody else's link. I don't care. This is more about getting something in the hands of people that
you guys can use.
That can use it to save energy and become more self-sufficient.
However, I'm going to say if you use our link, you're going to get extras with it. Not only do you get to save almost $100, but you get the dehydrator, the cookbook, and water purifier. So
no, but we're not sitting up here on the live trying to sell stuff.
No. We're just telling you how the weekend went.
Please, just don't think that we're doing that because we're not.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is part of homesteading. Got side gigs. They're important, especially if you want to quit your job and you want to ranch and homestead all day. You got to find a side gig. That's it. So, but what great way to do something on the side than to have a really good gig, right? And so then you've got the really good gig where you're actually helping people instead of taking advantage of people.
It's just a Texas sun oven is a car or a truck. Amen.
Yeah.
I walked around the first 2 weeks I was in Yuma, Arizona, with little red marks across my cheeks from throwing my metal rim sunglasses up in the dashboard of the car when I got out, and then throwing them on without thinking about it. So I had these burn marks on my cheeks right there.
Yeah. It was really interesting too. It was kind of a wake up because there were so many people there, right? And a lot of people just getting into the lifestyle, curious about it. You know, how do we move forward? What are we going to do? That kind of thing. And the amount of heat that we had. And then having to leave early because they couldn't tolerate the heat. It was affecting their body. How many people were actually like red, looked like lobsters on Saturday because of Friday? And so seeing that, it was very interesting to me. That's why acclimation is so important because you have to be able to work outside. And it's really important to know how to keep your body cool and what to do. And so, you know, if you don't have that, and I would just say, I would say if you're thinking about the lifestyle, start acclimating and figuring out how to keep yourself cool. Right? And then just kind of figure it out that way. Go. That's a good start.
There's a convert. Carrie's using hers.
It
was really good this summer too, wasn't it, Carrie? With the Sahas as it was.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because of stuff that we're doing around here, she's got to use the oven constantly in summertime. But man, it was nice when we broke that thing out and didn't have to heat the kitchen up.
Yes, it was. And in fact, we're going to break it out again tomorrow because I got stuff in the fridge I need to cook, and I got stuff for the freezer I have to cook. So I am not going to be using my stove for that. I think it's going to be cool enough this evening I can finish up the blackened chicken Alfredo and then get all of those in trays and in the freezer. And then tomorrow I'll just go ahead and put everything. 61. I should be able to do that, right? Yeah. It'll be comfortable.
Hey, she's got one too. We've actually got three of them.
I'd really like to figure out how to get the villager. And so
yeah, we don't have 20 grand.
If the business goes well, we could. And we could get the villager out here. I think that would be amazing. Could you imagine? I could do everything for the freeze dryer in that thing. Everything. Okay. 12. I could just buy a freezer that's dedicated just to the villager.
Hey, tell me what you guys think about this idea. We were talking with Tripp at Doug and Stacy's, and he suggested hosting a sun oven cook-off competition next summer. What do you guys think about that? Basically, we just get everybody together for long 3-day weekend in the summertime, and have a big cook-off, different categories and desserts and entrees and sides and barbecue. You can actually Did you know you can barbecue with the sun oven?
You can roast.
Yeah, you roast it.
You can dehydrate. We could do.
What do you guys think about a sun oven cook-off competition? Just have everybody come in. We're in a great area to have it because there's not a lot of trees out.
Yep.
Just like west of us, 5 miles.
Yeah, we could definitely do it. Just trying to figure out how to do it and how many people would be interested in it.
Yeah, that's the big thing right there is if the weather doesn't cooperate.
Well, we can always figure out. I mean, even what do you say weather doesn't cooperate? So, you really don't have to have full sun, right?
Well, but we had 3 weeks where it rained every day and it never got sun.
Well, we just don't do it during that month. So
Faith doesn't like to eat.
What'd she say?
Cook off, yes. Summer, no.
Well, we could do a cook off in the winter.
I
just don't know if you guys want to camp in the winter.
We got a place out here that's by a lake where you can go swimming and do all that stuff to beat the summer
we can do it out there. It'd be great. You guys could camp. You could swim. Do all kinds of stuff.
Sounds for share recipes. Yeah.
Exactly. Great.
We could
actually, with the recipes, we could actually put together another cookbook for Sun Oven.
A community cookbook.
Community cookbook. We could put that together. We've been talking about doing that anyway, but what a great way to dedicate that to the Sun Oven, and then maybe put it in Tripp's hands and see what he can do.
I don't know. It was an idea he gave us, and I talked to Bobby a little, Spags a little bit about it, and so.
And I think we're thinking about maybe doing it as well for the Freeman Festival.
Yeah. So yeah, we're thinking about it. So we may be doing something like that next summer, fall sometime. Shade and swim, I could do that. Open prairie and heat dome, nope. Yeah, hopefully next summer there's no heat dome. Because I'll be honest with that. We only had the AC turned on 6 days this year, and doesn't look like we're gonna have to turn it on the rest of the year.
Yeah, we should be fine. And even they're talking 100 degrees, but they even said we know everybody's in shock from the last thing. It's going to be a cooler 100 degrees, and that we can tolerate. So that's fine.
It's pretty sad when 100 degrees is a cool day. You guys that live down in the Gulf Coast and in Texas, man, I don't know how you guys do it. Seriously.
Yeah, but you all know what we're talking about.
Yep, you know exactly what we're talking about.
So no, that was really good and exciting, and I think we will be putting on the cook-off. We just got to figure out when.
No, we just got to. Yeah.
And we got to plan it. So that's going to take some planning. Maybe I'll start working on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said something to 2 different people. Nothing's happening. I'm just going to do it.
I need to start working on the hog hunt too.
We'll do that. Grumpy Acres Sun Oven cook-off, and so we'll figure it out. And I can figure out some campsites and that kind of thing. I mean, do that.
Well,
depending on how many people are interested.
To be fair, the person that would be best geared towards helping us has been kind of busy.
Yeah. No. Nothing against that. Both of them actually. So
there you go.
But yeah, maybe we can do it depending on how many people are interested. I've got a couple different campsites.
It's actually a pretty good name. The BYOSO cook-off.
Okay.
Bring your own Sun Oven cook.
Okay. Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool.
Like it.
It'd be kind of cool to be able to give away a villager,
Wait,
make enough money you can give away a villager as a prize.
Cool
if you guys haven't seen the villager we're talking about, go out to Sun Oven site.
Make sure that you keep your tow hitch cleared.
It's a Sun Oven that fits on a trailer and can do 1,200 meals in a day. Yep. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really worried when I sent the food to Trip. I sent a 1 gallon bag size, but I'm worried it's not enough food. So
I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to talk about. Can Faith use her Girl Scout approved solar oven?
We'll have to talk about that.
Oh,
I heard a lot of that going on, and so even at the festival, people were talking about that.
How they made their own.
Yeah, how they made their own, and then seriously, it was just a cylinder. Somebody had said, and she said it works. And well, how do you get anything in there? So I don't know.
You do kebabs.
It's big enough to
cook a villager.
Yeah.
No, they did take a bunch to India.
Yeah. Stop it. Yeah, so that was one of the other things that was really weird too. So I was talking to somebody out there. I know it was hot, but I don't think I was slurring over my words or anything or stumbling or anything like that. And all of a sudden, the next day, she comes back and she says, "Yeah, I was really surprised." She said that they just got in a bunch of sun ovens from India. She was there was another customer that was interested in it, and she came over and just inserted herself. And I overheard it, and I'm like, "What did you just say?" And it was like, "No, went to India." And so it's very interesting the way that people communicate and what they hear.
Just like the telephone game.
Yeah, and but I'm sure glad I caught that. No, sun ovens are completely made in the United States. There are two factories, one in Wisconsin and one in North Carolina. And so don't mistake that. These are all American made.
You know, it was nice that there was the mix of demographics at
Young,
the festival
old,
was really
yeah.
neat because it was all ages, all walks of life, different races,
Yeah,
and everybody was having a good time. And
everybody.
all the craziness in our world got checked at the door. You know, and don't get me wrong, I ran into a couple of people that started talking to me about the grand conspiracies and chemtrails and all this other stuff. But and not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that it, there wasn't a lot of craziness there.
No.
That craziness isn't the right word. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It was just nice. It was a good respite. It was a good break.
For sure.
So Richter says Afghanistan Sutherland is a flat rock. It works. Yep, I've actually done that. What's Faith say? Cardboard and roll of Reynolds wrap. I think some saran wrap. I traded for a friend's lens. Yeah, but here's the thing about that, and it's a good survival skill to have to be able to make these things. But the sun oven, the
it's an alternative kitchen.
Well, and it's obvious. You know, it's factory made. The tolerances are tighter, and it's more well insulated, and all that stuff. Yes, because I heard that a lot. You know, I made my own. Yes, it's not going to be as efficient as this one.
Well, what would be really interesting too is anybody that has questions and have lost temperature or well, how do I keep this at this heat and what am I doing here? I hear a lot of these questions, and I literally had to show everybody, okay, here's your temperature controls, and so that is the dial where you're looking where your sun is coming in, but it also has to do with your screws. And so on those latches and how tight you're getting it, sealing it, that kind of thing. Do you loosen it? Depends on what you're cooking and what temperature that you need. So a lot of people had those questions.
Gregor, you're absolutely 100% right, and it kills me. It kills me that we don't do a better job, or I don't know if it's we don't or we can't. Because quite honestly, a lot of the stuff that we need around here, you can't get in America anymore. Or if you can, it's not something that's readily available within
or
our price
it's something
range.
that was two components from overseas that were put together
even
in
then,
America.
Even then, I'm even more okay with that than buying the Chinese made stuff. And like that,
not.
like that stupid,
it's still Chinese.
Like that stupid mini chainsaw that was sent to us. The thing is made in China.
But it works.
But it's working for the money, especially considering how they gave it to us. I told somebody asked about it. I think it was Rod Jurinsky.
Yeah, Rod
asked me about what my thoughts on it were.
No, that was leather.
Leather Homestead. But I've used it and I've been trying to break it, and it a piece came off and I was able to fix it myself, and it's for the price. I can't say that it's bad. Right.
And that kind of stuff you're not going to find made in America, except for Skill. But are all of Skill's parts, are they made in America or some brought overseas?
I'm sure some are made overseas.
Okay.
Yeah, and that Joel calling it Chinese outlet store. There used to be a point in time when 80% of the stuff in Walmart was made in America.
And proudly branded, made in the USA. Not anymore.
Yeah.
And did you notice any of you Dollar Tree lovers and Dollar Store, that's all China. All of it.
In dollar stores, you You can't swing a dead cat around the Midwest without hitting a Dollar General.
Dollar General, that's what I meant.
You can't.
Dollar General.
You can't swing a dead cat without hitting one around
Right.
here. They're all over the place.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, kind of a
But
hot
we're
mess.
trying to do better. You know, this is part of disengaging from the system. We find out where we are, and then we start backing ourselves off. Yeah, Harbor Freight. There's another one. There's another one that's a lot of Chinese stuff. You know, so and quite frankly, we go into Harbor Freight every now and then when it's something we need on the quick.
On the fly.
On the quick, and it doesn't have to be high
And
quality.
you know, you're going to get a tart for $9 at Harbor Freight. You absolutely know you get 1 or 2 uses out of it, and it's gone.
Right. Okay, now here's since Rickster brought it up, Temu. I have met a lot of people that are
What's Temu?
Temu's the new Wish. It's replacing Wish.
I
It's
don't
a
know
Chinese.
what Wish is either.
It's a Chinese Chinese store. But I've met a lot of people that are using this. They're using the phone app. And if you know anybody, if you're using it, or if you know anybody that's using it, you need to get it off your phone. You need to get that application off your phone.
Oh, it's an app on the phone?
Well, they've got their app, so you can purchase stuff through it, or you can buy it online. You can go online. Okay. But the phone app is worse than TikTok as far as the invasiveness and how much data it's mining off your phone. And in fact, who was it? One of the India banned a bunch of Chinese stuff just because they don't like the Chinese. But there was another place that I saw where they banned Temu from being on governmental phones because they collect so much information.
They did the same thing with TikTok, right? Like you can't have TikTok on governmental phones. Yeah.
Okay. I saw a meme on a picture of a fruit cup that pears harvested in Honduras packaged.
I can't read that, so
I saw a meme on Facebook of a picture of a fruit cup. The pears were harvested in Honduras and packaged in Thailand and sold here. Yeah. Well, and that a lot of that's going to start. It's not going to happen as much over the next 10, 20 years because as America, out of necessity, pulls back from its role in globalization, business is going to become much more regional.
I don't know about that. So the bags of garlic, the peeled garlic that I used to get at Sam's Club and all of that, I noticed something on this last bag that I purchased. It used to be, it didn't really say anything, so I just assumed, it's garlic. It's made in the U.S. Now there's a big sticker on it that says produced in China.
Right. Well, and like I said, that's over the next 10, 20 years, as globalization unwinds, business is going to become more and more regional. And you're going to see here in America, and this is Peter Zion talking, this isn't me, so don't think I'm some sort of genius on this stuff. But go watch Peter Zion. He's pretty dialed in. We're going to see a lot more products coming out of Central and South America just because they're going to be part of our regional business infrastructure versus globally. Now, America's not going to withdraw from the space completely, but it's not going to have as big a role in keeping the sea lanes open and enforcing this global trade that we've done over the last 60 to 80 years. And it was all a security thing. The only reason why we did this, the only reason why we're involved in all these countries was because it was easier to bribe all these countries for our security than going out and fighting for it.
And now look, they're taking advantage of it.
Speaking of the devil,
hi.
How you doing? We're we're going to cut off by foreign suppliers fairly soon.
Right.
Well, you know what, Faith? Would that really be a bad thing? I really can't.
Prep and stack.
Sometimes the best thing to do is rip that bandage off.
Yeah.
But we've already seen, and you can already go out and look. There's already been a lot of reshoring of industry in the United States over the past 4 or 5 years. It actually started before COVID, but it kind of ramped up and picked up speed during COVID, and it's only gotten stronger. Because people are seeing the vulnerabilities of it all. In fact, they just found somebody. I know somebody in the chat knows this. Someplace here in America, or maybe it was Canada, they found a large deposit of rare earth minerals that are needed for all our high-end electronics. Okay. For homesteading, permaculture books, check out the New Society Publishers, Canadian. Check out their values, republishing paper use, etc. Okay, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to go check it out. New Society Publishers. Okay. Let's see here. Where's that? Faces. But a lot of folks will be freaking out in the economy will tank. Not necessarily, but a lot of folks will be freaking out in the economy will tank. Not unexpected by us, but a lot for others. Yes, I think you are.
Yeah.
I think you are 100% on that.
Yeah.
On that right there.
You know, it was really funny to me. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. Sunday. Yeah, Sunday was a pretty busy day. And so I was talking to her, and she was telling me a story. Do you know that they had family members when the bread shortage went out, or it went on? So there was a bread shortage, and they couldn't get bread anywhere. So they were just doing without bread instead of making bread. So I was like, well, what did you do? And I said they didn't have flour. They couldn't make their own bread because literally you can do some breads with easy 3 ingredients, right? And she was like, nope. She's like, she ended up just making the bread and handing it out to people so that they had bread. It's insane, you guys. Your bread skills don't have to be amazing. Just figure it out and then make sure that you've got the flour on hand in order to do it.
So Gregory, I think I know which one you're talking about. It was in Pennsylvania, and that they held the guy at gunpoint and had his kids sitting in the living room with guns pointed at him. Little.
Oh, was that there, or was that in North Carolina?
Well, it happened in North Carolina too, but I think the one he's talking about is the one in Pennsylvania.
Was this recently?
Yeah, but well, within the last year or so. But that brings up a good question. Why does the USDA have to have armed officers? Why is that important? And these are the things. This is we're going to start getting into a little bit more about why I do the prepping type of stuff, and B, if this is important to us as homesteaders. Yep, is written the name Amish Co-op. Gosh, I wish I could remember what the name of that documentary was.
Farm something. Pharma.
I don't remember.
Pharma. Man, we watched it. It's on YouTube, but it's Pharma something. And really, really weird. It'll make you mad.
All right, man. I guess he's going to go.
Yeah. Go enjoy your concert.
Farmageddon, that's right.
Farmageddon, that's it. Yeah.
Yes, that's a great documentary.
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. You can find it right on YouTube.
Okay. WA wants to know, how long does flour last if it's in a jar?
Oof.
We've had stuff that's lasted.
Depends on how it's stored in temperature, right? So you just want to make sure that it's airtight. And as long as it's airtight, you're going to be fine.
Anybody else want to pop in on an answer for WA?
We've even had, everybody was like, oh, flour, you put it in the Mylar and then throw it in a bucket. It's only good for 10 years. Meh. I've tested that theory and we're fine. So,
yeah. But the whole weaponization of the government against us, it's only going to start getting worse and worse and worse. Unfortunately.
Now I'm looking at all my grains that are in jars up there.
Yeah, we got an entire row of
brown
half-gallon and gallon
rye,
buckets
flour,
up there. Or not buckets,
stuff,
jars. But so it's important for us to we need to know this stuff is going on, so that we can be aware of it and
be aware and be prepared.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Starla says Montana and North Dakota had findings of rare earth minerals.
I guarantee you, I see some kind of laser fire coming, and the government wanting to buy it up.
So and then there was talk. One of the sessions at the Homestead Festival was about raw milk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was a mess.
Yeah. So raw milk.
Hot mess. So a friend of ours, a friend from the community, she actually sat in on the class. She ended up walking out. She's like, it's a session on raw milk, and she's talking about how she drinks only almond milk. And the question came up as okay, wait, do you know who you're talking to and why are you talking about almond milk? So, I don't know. Is it found what? The what?
Oh, they found viable seeds
For
after
about 5,000 years?
yeah after being
Yeah. So some of that even in the boat, what was the boat that sank in the Missouri River that they pulled up? They had all
the
that canned
Sultana
food
or
and
the
all of
Arabia,
that.
Steamboat Arabia.
Steamboat Arabia. They still have those cans and everything. They still have them on display. They're still good. So there was a lot of that.
These are the things we need to watch out for.
Yeah, because the USDA is going to tell you can only do it for X amount and X amount. But the thing is, you need to be stacking and prepping, and you need to be testing the theories so that you know what you can do.
No, HG, you know why they call it almond milk? Because if they called it nut juice, nobody would drink it. Just plain good marketing.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
Good marketing.
There is a lot of dairy farmers that got mad that they're allowed to call it almond milk. They shouldn't be allowed to call it almond milk.
No, I
They
don't
need to
think
call
they
it
should
nut
either.
juice. So, but yeah. So
Oh, okay. Do you have anything else?
I don't
We've
think
only been at
so.
this for an hour and 10 minutes. I got some stuff I got to go do. Do you guys have anything you want to discuss? I saw Gregory up in the top said that the government was talking about trying to talk people into one or two glasses of beer a week. Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh, I heard that. Like they're going to try to control the alcohol. I wonder how
Someone
they're
in
going
this
to.
house would revolt over that, and it wouldn't be me.
Well, and I'm just going to say too, I'm like, okay, you're talking about farmers and ranchers who are working all day, and the one thing you look forward to is being done and having a can of beer. And so, give me a break. You don't, my life is my life. Don't come in and tell me how to live my life. I'm not a disturbance to anybody else. I don't drive drunk. I don't cause a disturbance and run around naked and all that kind of crap. I don't. Stop it. You think you're funny and you're not.
I'm not.
And so, but there's not, I'm not, drinking a bottle of whiskey, laying on the corner begging for money either. So my life is there. Don't come in, and I'm exaggerating, guys, here, but don't come in. And the government has no boundaries on my land. Where my gate is locked, don't come in here. Don't start telling me what to do. It's the last thing you want to do.
HG, if you find a place that makes decent stickers like that, would you email me?
What does he want to do? Start.
Man, get stickers made that say nut juice and slapping them on almond milk cartons.
Yeah, that reminds me of friends of ours. They had these stickers that she ordered, and it's got Trump on there, and he's pointing. And it says Biden's fault, and then it's got Biden on there. It says I did that, and then it's got all these different sayings. And so I was running around, and every time I had to get gas, and I felt robbed, or diesel, and I felt robbed, I would put the sticker on the pumps, and everybody else was doing it too. I tell you, those stickers did not last very long. Like they got peeled off really, really quick.
I don't know. There was a place in Kansas City that the guy put a sign up saying removing the stickers was vandalism.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so then we'll go there. Put it on. I'll go to Sam's Club. Put it on the almond milk.
Well, find some. I want some decent ones. I don't want something cheesy.
What do you say?
Where?
Oh, you were talking to me?
Yeah, I was talking to you.
I don't know where they're at. Got to find out where they make them.
See, Jonathan's seen those down in Texas too.
Yeah, they're hilarious. I love doing it.
And guys, here's one more thing before we go. I'm gonna start. I don't know if you saw the gun control short that I did. I got some really bizarre hate off of that. Just kind of blew my mind. Apparently, I was talking like a mass shooter talks, and everything I said was BS lies. Although they didn't refute anything. And there was another one on there that just had me scratching my head. I was like, okay, whatever, but it's the point now, politics is downstream from culture. So I'm going to start making more shorts and more videos discussing the culture behind the politics. And, and if you're here for the homesteading stuff and you don't like that stuff, I apologize. I'd still like you guys to stick around. the homesteading content's important, but all this other stuff is important too. It's part of the the building community and building the alternative economy and checking out of the system, right? And these are things that we need to start talking about. And for too long, we're losing the culture war. We are. If we haven't lost it already, we're well on the way, because the millennials and those millennials, and this is painting them with a really wide brush, and I realized it. But they are going to be the future leaders of this country, and they're the ones perpetuating all the crap that we sit here and complain about because they've been indoctrinated. So we need to start fighting it. We need to start telling the truth, and more importantly, we need to start policing our own side. I'm going to do a reaction video to a video I saw on freedomtv.com, or the Freedom TV YouTube channel. That's a Second Amendment. It was a Second Amendment video, but the message did not do much of anything to help us. Yeah, we had that discussion before we started Night 2 HG.
Apparently I'm too mean.
So I'm sorry, but we're going to try to up our game on the homesteading stuff. She promises, for the umpteenth time, but she promises she's going to start making more videos.
Those 3 weren't good enough.
You haven't made any sense then.
And I know. I need
how much you been cooking?
Right. I know. Today was kind of in a hurry. How about this? I can get the blackened chicken Alfredo and then follow that all the way through.
They're your videos.
Well, but then you say I don't do them right, and so
you need to learn.
Anyway, we'll figure it out.
What are you doing? Oh,
are you coming in?
We got a friend. Oh,
you feel abused.
God, look at that face. That's like crazy face. Like, what is he doing to me?
But so we'll figure it out. I know everybody's asking for more freeze-dried videos. That's obvious because they're asking for the cookbook. And I think this time, you know what? I do need to do that video. And I think what I'll do when I go to switch all this stuff out, I'll start there, because that was a lot of questions I had. Temperature. People cannot figure out why their stuff why it's going soft, why it's not finishing, that kind of thing. It's because of the temperature. And they're like, what are you talking about? I can change the temperature. So I will get everybody in there and show that.
Oh, Starlight, I ignore them. They don't bother me anymore. When we started, it used to. I just, for all the haters out there, it's just like, thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just gotten to the point. It's cancel culture, right?
But we need to start. If I leave you with any call to action from this video, go out and just start shaking the tree. Start shaking the tree and start saying stuff that hurts people's feelings.
Well, not on purpose, but just speak the truth.
The truth is going to hurt people's feelings, and we need to start doing it.
Yeah, I find it really interesting that the 2 mass shootings that happened over the weekend are sick people, really, really sick people. And so, I don't know.
So as a reminder,
if I get white supremacists shoved down my throat anymore, I think I'm going to lose it.
As a reminder, the Three Sisters tour is coming up.
Yeah,
Self-Reliance Festival, Midwest Preparedness Festival, and Kentucky Sustainable Living.
Not in that order, so make sure you look them up.
Ours is first.
Ours is first.
Midwest Preparedness.
Self-Reliance.
Self-Reliance,
and
then Kentucky Sustainable.
You weren't too far off.
Yeah, that's Dolly Glenn. Yeah. That's Dolly Glenn. We can't let them out.
Everybody's kind of in trouble right now.
Yeah, they're all in trouble. That's why Freya's out on the lead and she's inside. Normally we'd let them run, but they have been misbehaving recently. So
bad.
So we need to curtail their behavior and retrain them.
Yep.
So if you guys can make one or more of those festivals, do it. I know some of the people in here.
See you guys.
Faith is going to be at Self-Reliance. Rosie, who was in earlier, was going to be at all 3. So was Spags. Spags said he was going to be the first one to complete that. And so I had to call him out on
complete what?
The Three Sisters tour.
How is he going to do that?
I don't know, because we're going to be there right next to him.
Right. So
do I need to go put a flat tire onto the EMP shield van?
I think
we can get there before they do.
You know what? I think I know. You know what slowed them down? What? The bantering. We'll have to banter back and forth. We'll have to tease them. That slowed them down. Because remember, like they had to slow down. They had to do their video, and they all had to look pretty when they were sitting in there. They're like, "We're coming. We're on our way." Oh, guess what Grumpy said? And so we'll just do that. That slowed them down. While we would do the videos, and while somebody else was driving, and we were just going as fast as we can. So how about that? Oh, and I would say to complete it, don't you have to camp at where you can camp?
No, that's not.
Well, you get to get a bed and breakfast and live cushy and just have your fireplace and your bourbon on the front porch.
We'll get the award with the gold star then.
We get extra points for camping out.
Yeah, I'm telling you what. If we have another camping trip at Self-Reliance Festival like we did last time, I'm never camping out ever again on any festival.
We'll just have to get an RV. We'll have to get a camper. But yeah, no. So I'm just teasing, and Spags knows that. And if any of them are watching, believe me, they're cracking up, and I'm going to end up paying for this in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, I forgot to mention Chuck. Chuck will be at all three too.
Hi. Yes, he will.
So guys, if you can make that, if you're not a subscriber yet and you stumble across this video, go ahead and subscribe, join the channel, join the community here. We do have a good time most of the time.
Hey Chuck, so how are we going to rate that if Spags thinks that he's going to accomplish all three first? Because apparently he's out and not listening to this, or else believe me, I would have already got some smack back. So Chuck, you got to figure out. We got to figure out something. Maybe we get Chuck on the banner too.
We'll conspire.
Yeah.
We'll conspire against them.
Yeah, we got this. We can do this.
All right,
we can slow them down.
Guys, listen. Go out tomorrow, and try to be more free tomorrow than you were today. I know it's hard, especially with everything fighting against us, but just know that you got community here. You got the virtual community, and if you're out there, you should be striving to build your own communities.
Please, guys, it's so important to build these communities. You have no idea. You're so important. Your goal. Need a community to get through what's coming at us.
Faith is mean.
What she say?
She got a mean streak in her.
On his steering wheel. Oh my gosh. But then I'd have to break an entering. Then I would have to break into the vehicle in order to do it. I can't do that. I'm sure they're going to, especially after this, now they're going to make sure everything's locked up tight, but that would be hilarious.
That would be funny as all get out. As Rabbit says, adios, y'all. That's how they talk in southern Missouri.
Right.
Southern part of Missouri. You got anything else you got to say?
Funny. Are you going to let Faith and I play together at SRF?
No.
I'm kind of scared now. Like, she could get me in some serious trouble.
Okay. Why don't you take us out, Angela? Tell me what you usually say.
Hey, guys. All right. So, everybody, make sure you build this community. It's more important than ever before. Get everything together, start stacking, start prepping. No matter, even if you have for the last 10, 20 years, keep going, keep getting it done. And as always, be at least 1% better tomorrow than you were today.
And go live life then free.
Go live a life then free.
All right, guys. You guys take care.